This is the e-portfolio for Catherine Belton, Wilmington University, Spring 2018. Activities throughout the year are geared towards the students' different learning styles and needs. In the beginning of the year, the students completed a student guide. This was geared to help them learn more about their preferred learning style. I was also able to take this information and use it to better fit activities that tailored to the needs of my different students. In this learning style activity, the students looked to see if they were visual spatial learners by creating a map that they had to identify as many states, shapes, placement, and borders as possible. This is an activity where the students learned if they were more logical or mathematical learners. They completed the Sudoku activity as best to their ability, and then they were able to reflect to determine whether this was a hard activity or an easy activity for them to complete. This was a fun activity to help determine if the students were linguistic learners. The object was for the students to read the nonsense phrases out loud to help determine what the real phrase was. Many of my students found that this was an extremely hard task and learned that they were not linguistic learners. Throughout the year, we have been doing a novel study on the book Walk to Moons by Sharon Creech. This is a story about a Native American little girl who has lost her mother and the trials she faces afterwards. We have been using these trials and comparing them to our students' daily lives. Students are often given an opportunity to show their creative sides with different activities. For example, this is an activity called Think Outside the Box. The students are given a shape and then are told to think outside of the box and make it into something different. Students are also able to practice their critical thinking skills each class when they are given these short little critical thinking problems. In the beginning of the year, it was important to establish a safe, welcome, and learning environment. There were different activities that helped to make sure that each student felt safe with their learning. In the beginning of the year, to help establish a safe learning environment, the students completed 2 different activities. The first activity was they drew a picture of themselves and then passed the paper around so the classmates could write positive affirmations on their paper. This activity was also used in the beginning of the year to create a safe learning environment. It used similes for students to compare themselves to things they would not normally think of. For example, this student put, "I'm as brave as a daredevil, and I'm as smart as a cat." Students are placed in group settings so that they are able to interact and work cooperatively with the other students that are in their group. In the Pull-Out Gifted program, the students that I work with will have an opportunity to learn about certain concepts before their classmates are taught the concepts. The next unit of math that my students will be learning is about area. To give them a jump start on this, we talked about what area was and real-life places area could be applied. That have to do with area and perimeter. So I'm going to read walk commands. Maybe before the end of the year, yeah. Alright, so I'm going to hand these out. I'm going to give you guys pencils. And then we are going to go over it. So grab a pencil. The first page tells us a little bit about area. Does anybody already know, without looking at the paper, what area may be?
No.
Javian.
Like when, say if you have a square and it's kind of like how you draw a picture and you know how this, it's like, you know the little squares.
Yeah, grid paper.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And it's kind of like then when you have it, you need to kind of cross and the bottom. It's like, you know the little squares.
Yeah, grid paper.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah. And it's kind of like then when you have it, you need to kind of cross and the bottom. So say you have 5 across and then 10 down. That would be
Yeah.
the width is 5 and the width is 10 and
The length. It's the inside. So if you read it says area of square units. need to fill the inside of a space. So if you look at this paper, this should be green, but I didn't have colors. So the green space inside the rectangle is the area. But Javian's right. In order to find the area, you have two numbers. You have the length, which is how long something is, but then this is not called the perimeter. This side is called the width. So then you would multiply your length and your width together. So, like this says, to find the area, you can count the number of squares. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So, that is 6 square units the rectangle is. Or, to find the area, you can multiply the length times the width. So, they said the length is 5 feet, and the width is 3 feet, and 5 times 3 is 15. An easy way to remember this, because perimeter, does anybody know what perimeter is?
The outside.
The outside, around it, right? Find perimeter, Hazel.
Yes.
Do you think you know how to find perimeter? Do you remember?
No, I do.
How do you find perimeter?
You have to do, so since there's two sides of the length and width. So you'll do 5 plus 6. This is 5. You have to do 5 plus 5 because 10. Oh yeah, I remember that.
So like the perimeter would be the outside, and Julia's right. So this one is 5 feet, right?
Yes.
So what would this be?
5 feet.
5 feet. And this was 3 feet. So what's this?
3 feet.
And
Then you have to add it all up.
Then you add all of the numbers up.
16. So 16.
Yes. And that is the perimeter. So
So
the perimeter is the outside, the area is inside. So it gives you a little thing on the bottom. It says think area square EA. To remember, area is measured in square units. So first we're going to come up with a definition. You're going to brainstorm a definition of your own. Then how to find area. An example of a model. So do a model about it. And then think of some things where you could use it in the real world. Where you would need area in the real world.
I know.
All right, well, I'll give you 3 minutes to try to fill these out, and then we're going to come back together up here. No, I have to find some air. But how do you find it? What did we say you found it?
Oh, we added.
We didn't add. This is perimeter.
We multiplied.
You multiplied what?
5 and 3.
Yes. So this is the length.
So we can put, you multiply the number that is
The length
and
times-
the width.
Yep.
Multiply the number of length width. Blanca, when you have L, since L is 5, then you would do L multiplied by W. You kept doing that. No, it was plus.
Plus is perimeter. Remember?
Fill in 3. Yeah.
No, all of them.
You do length.
And one of the reasons we're doing this is because you're going to get to make a model map of your water park, and you're going to need to know how to do area and perimeter because you're going to have to map it out on grid paper.
Yeah.
So we need to go over this before we do that.
Does it have to be like exactly the same squares?
No. It's going to be probably harder for you to do the exact same squares. All right. Somebody give me a definition that they wrote in their own words. Javian.
Area is when you look at the picture and count the length and width.
Picture. Length and width. Anybody have anything else? Ella.
An area is when there are blocks that create that place, like this room.
Like
The
inside.
Like the inside of a shape. Like the flooring that create that place, like this room.
Like
The
inside.
Like the inside of a shape. Like the flooring that is tiles. That's the area of this room. The inside
Yes,
of a
yes,
shape.
yes.
We are learning that in Miss Darling's class.
Yes, that is very good. So the tiles give you the what? If you counted them, you would know what?
How much space you have in
the area, right? If you counted each one of these tiles, and these are 1 foot tiles, so they would be right, it'd be square feet. All right, how do we find the area? Christopher, how do you find the area?
By multiplying the length and the width. I have a different one than what you said. I said add each side of the sheet.
That's perimeter.
Oh.
Yeah, perimeter is adding, area is multiplying.
It was the same thing.
Right.
All of it said the same thing.
Yeah.
Because if I had, so on our example, we had 5 and 3, correct? If you multiply 5 and 3, what do you get?
15.
15. But if you add 5 plus 5 plus 3 plus 3, what do you get?
16.
So is it the same?
No.
No, it's not the same. So area you multiply, perimeter you add.
Which are two.
You add all the sides. Multiply you just do length, or area you do length times width. All right. Multiply you just do length, or area you do length times width. All right. I can come around and see your models with the squares. Good. Christopher.
I did a farm. Oh yeah. I did a farm, like the fence farm.
Alright, so, wait, don't all tell you one. Raise your hand. Who has one for a real world use? J-Man.
To make a calendar.
So tell me how you think you can use it to make a calendar.
So if you have 30 days.
Who has one for a real world use? J-Man.
To make a calendar.
So tell me how you think you can use it to make a calendar.
So if you have 30 days. No, wait.
But we're trying to find the area.
Oh.
So think about on that, Ella.
You can build houses.
Oh, so
That's what I was going to say.
yes, when people.
Wait, I have one.
So, for example, I just redid the floor in my bathroom, and my dad found the area was looking. Just redid the floor in my bathroom, and my dad found the area was looking to help me do it. To find the area of the floor, he did the length times the width. Then you knew how many square feet, and then we went and bought the flooring based on how many square feet. So build houses is very important. Hazel.
Like decorations, like you need to know how many is in the area so you can put it.
So
Like this table.
okay, so you can do it to find out how much for a decoration. Okay. Like if you're putting something. Hazel or Ella.
To help you with multiplication.
Okay, practice your multiplication. Okay. Remember, we're looking for where you can use. One of the culminating activities that the students will be using area for is where they are given a chance to create a visual map of their dream house. After learning a new math strategy, the students are then given a chance to reflect on what they have learned. For example, we often do what is called How Did You Grow as a Mathematician Today? They answer these 5 simple questions on an exit slip before they leave. Students also got a chance to work on Powtoon.com to make a commercial for their water park. In this lesson, the students were just getting introduced to the computer application. Alright, so blank presentation for our Powtoon. And then you're going to pick a look. So, Modern Edge, whiteboard, cartoon, infographic, reel. So you're going to pick which one you want to use. So pick a template that you're going to use. Yeah, because they're going to go back and forth. So you're going to pick one that you're going to use for your commercial. So once you pick the whiteboard, then once you pick the whiteboard, we're going to, or whatever one you choose, I'm going to do Modern Edge. So on the right of your screen, it should say choose a scene.
Mine's gonna be say hello there.
So, introductions.
Where are you guys at?
On the right of the screen, it should say, you got to pick one of these first. And then on the right, you're going to pick one. So if we're going to do kind of like a video for our water park, it should probably be a welcoming.
Like this?
Yeah. a welcoming thing for our first one. So pick one, and then you can change the text. So you should be able to click. Christopher, sit in your chair for me, or stand up if you want to work. Stand up. But you need to add a text box. So we're going to add a text box.
I'm gonna make my color like super blue.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, it's my logo? No, it's not your logo.
Background is the squares. You don't like the pictures in the background? So over on the right side, there's like a background that has a bunch of squares. What are you trying to get?
Dr. Pepper. Dr. Pepper. Yeah, this is what my guy's name is.
You mean like how it comes in or comes out? Which one? Where? No. What are you trying to do? Okay. This.
Should I call it? Can I call you Sprite? Oh, you got search and write. I want to write it. Wow.
One of the main assessments that I do is assessing the second grade students to see if they qualify for the gifted program the following year. The assessment process starts in January and runs until March, when all of the gifted teachers in the elementary schools meet to determine what students will be placed in which program the following school year. This is an example problem from the PETS program that is used to assess the second grade students. In this problem, the students have to place the ladybugs in the proper order according to the different clues that are given to them. Each week, there is a mini lesson taught before the assessment is given. There is a total of 6 assessments that are used to help determine if the gifted program is the right placement for the student. The students are also given a math assessment to help determine if the gifted program is the right placement. This math assessment uses critical thinking skills that are not often taught in the regular education classroom. Another purpose of this math assessment is to see if the student can think outside of the box when it comes to logical mathematical problems. In collaboration with my colleagues, teachers are able to nominate their students who they feel needed gifted services. When teachers nominate their students, the students are then given different assessments to help us determine as a committee if the gifted program is the right placement for them. The many different assessments that are used during the process of determining if students are candidates for the gifted program help to ensure that more students are able to be a part of this program and do not slip through the cracks and are receiving the services that are right for them. To help better prepare the second grade students when it is time for assessment, I collaborated with a team of coworkers and came up with a presentation and product to help better educate the other teachers in the building about getting ready for the gifted program. We are hoping to implement more critical thinking skills in kindergarten and first grade, so when students come to second grade, they are ready to be assessed. Thank you for your time. I hope you enjoyed the presentation.